Alright, welcome to week 5 of the Domain 9 series, and I apologize for coming out late. I was doing a little testing, but unfortunately it does not look like we're getting any level increases anytime soon. But to be honest, I do need that time to catch up on my weapon materials. But starting out, you want to go ahead and check your casual tab, starting with the artificial island. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and hit this present icon, because remember, you can only hold these resources for 24 hours. But if it's past 12, you want to check this area and see if you have an old man icon. And if you don't, then you can always check your friends, your crewmates, or just people in the world. And if you want to find out more about this system, I did come out with a video explaining how it all works. But you do at least want to go inside your artificial island at least once a week. That way you can hit this triangle icon and you can check your exchange door and you can buy your weekly items because these reset on Monday. On top of that, you want to make sure that you go around your island and kill your enemies so that way you can get those extra resources. I recommend that you at least try to kill the bosses because you never know when they might update artificial island. Which brings us to the next tab, fishing. So ideally you want to try to get your level to 9. That way you can buy your weekly standard matricy box. And this week it's 0, which is a very powerful matricy, kind of difficult to get, so I'm even going to buy this one myself. But if you're just starting out with fishing, I recommend that you buy 100 to 150 green bait, so that way you can start buying purple bait. And you can just buy purple bait using your available bait for the week until you have time to start fishing. Which brings us to appointed research. And you want to be careful not to let your energy cap, because you can only hold a grand total of 20 energy, so that way you can keep getting your 5 free energy a day. Which brings us to Ronnie the resource dealer, and you want to make sure that you check him out before the week ends, because you really want to make sure that you buy your mini pelican shards, especially if you're a vote main, your energy, and your potent omnium crystal. And for the last thing that we have is racing. With the end of the month approaching quickly, you may want to go ahead and try to do some racing so that way you can get that 400 Mira. But one thing you definitely want to make sure that you do before the weekends is do your security force missions so that way you can get those owed Vera coins and Mira. Next, you want to do Mia's Kitchen and knock out your 4 bounties for the day, and you want to always go with Domain 9. And then when it comes to your keys, I recommend that you save these until patch 3.2 once we get the new energy system. Which brings us to vitality, starting with joint operations. So you want to make sure that you do at least 1 joint operation so that way you can get your daily first clear rewards. And it is a good habit to go ahead and take a look at this incident fix, because today we're able to get Habuella shards. So if you saved up some vitality, this can help you get some more stars on those free-to-play matrices. And next we have interstellar exploration, and you want to check Vera as well as check Aspera so that way you can see all of your stargates. And how you can tell if you have a level 3 stargate is if this weapon battery category has a number 3, it's a level 3 stargate, but if it has a number 2, it's a level 2 stargate. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you could always do dimensional trials. And if you're like me, trying to get the new character Zeke, you're going to need as many as you can get. But if you don't have any level 2s or level 3s, you could always do dimensional trials. And all you need to do is just simply click go, and then you can use up all of your vitality. But you can also do the same when it comes to matrix data packs or gold. Which brings us to our optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 characters, and Zeke is one of the characters that can accept these as well. And the best places to get that is the black market and talk to Hopkins, Titus Island and do the claw machine, and knock out your 2 trainings for the day, as well as do your 8 fun zones for Mira and training points. And you may want to go ahead and knock out your 6 Greyspace fishers if you have not cleared out the Greyspace yet. But the biggest reward is in the Twilight zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait on this. Which brings us to our event. So hopefully you logged in enough times to get all of the rewards. If you wanted to get the new character Yu Lan, you have a little over 8 days to get her. And for the reruns, I still recommend that you don't try to get Saki since she's going to be added to the standard banner soon. But if you want to get 1 copy, you could do that so that way she's easier to get. You could consider getting an A1 Alice if you want to try to do main DPS Yu Lan. And for Icarus, unless you're going to get a lot of stars, you may not want to roll them. And then we still have 8 days left for the Cloudscape, so if you have not went around the world and explored everything, you want to make sure that you go ahead and do that so that way you can get all the rewards. And we also are approaching the end of the Challengers task list, as well as a lot of the exploration things throughout the world, so make sure that you complete these before 8 days is up. And then we have our main event, and unfortunately they have closed the first 2 events, and the only game that we can play is Fruit Barrage, but it did get updated to where we can get a lot more points, and it's still a pretty quick game. And lastly, Zeke is confirmed for August 8th when patch 3.1 comes out. So expect a lot of videos coming from me out in the future. Of course, I've been doing the Zeke testing, so we're going to try to get that out in a timely manner, and I'm going to try to tell you everything that I can find out about patch 3.1, as well as some other helpful videos. And we got to talk about Domain 9. Hopefully you have your wing statue to level 6, so that way you can see all of the points on the map, because you want to make sure that you collect your weekly energy. because I'm saving this energy until patch 3.1, so that way I can level up the statues, because one statue even reveals all the secret chest locations, and you need 6,000 energy to fully max out a new statue. And lastly, let's talk about mentorship. You want to make sure that you do all of your co-op missions with at least one mentee, so that way you can buy some great rewards from the mentorship store. And the rewards that I recommend trying to go for are the Titan compiling module and data repeaters. And make sure that you're taking all of your mentees to various challenges, so that way you can get that mentorship level to venerate it, allowing you to get some really nice rewards. Which brings us to the weekly tab. You want to make sure that you do enough things down here so that way you can get everything up top, especially the missions that give you keys. Because remember, you want to try to save all of your keys to patch 3.2. You could consider using your golden keys in patch 3.1 if you want to go for the flame bird. But for me personally, I'm going for the dragon, so I'm going to be using all of my keys in patch 3.2. Which brings us to our challenges, starting with the Bygone Phantasm. So again, you want to go ahead and take a look at this weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus, then you may want to go ahead and attempt the floor. But if your CS is high enough, you may be able to do this sneak to next level and jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is sequential phantasm. If you're able to get a high score here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole. This has reset, so you want to make sure that you clear this out before 9 days, so that way you can get those extra microreactor shards. Frontier Clash. You want to go ahead and knock this out so that way you can get that golden gear. Origin of War. If you find this difficult, then you can just wait until the difficulty drops. Do keep in mind, try not to let the difficulty drop below 600%, so that way you can get all of the rewards. Void Rift. I recommend that you save your Void Rift attempts, because we enter a new month on Tuesday, to where we can do a brand new Void Abyss. So if you have not cleared Void Abyss yet, you want to hurry up and clear that before the month ends. And this is a tech that I was using, and I strongly recommend that you try to get Mechanical Core 2, especially when facing against Gaia. And for the rest of my tech, I ended up just getting things that help power up Leowa. But you may want to consider just trying to get Rainbow Tech if you don't have the strongest team. Raids. You want to go ahead and knock this out on challenge before the week ends. But if it is too difficult for you, you can do Heroic, and you still get pretty much most of the rewards. Break from Destiny. You want to make sure that you do this at least one time, so that way you can get those 250 Dark Crystals. Arena. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, then you may want to put a couple hours in each day. But do take a look at this daily limit, to where you can get 14,000 critical points a week. And they're going to be updating the store to where you're going to be able to get old Vera coins and accessories. So you may want to farm some critical points every week. Then we got our daily buys. So you want to go to shop, and you want to check your monthly pass to make sure that it's still running, because this is the best deal in the game. For my Dolphins, you can go ahead and get the daily supply box, 7-day purchase. And then we have the hot tab. So let's go ahead and talk about Vitality Solutions. And I recommend that you don't buy no more than 2 a day. But do note that if you are buying 2 Vitality Solutions a day, that's like you're giving up 21 rows on the new limited character. But one thing you should try to buy are your advancement modules and your booster modules for the week. Which brings us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust store. So you want to make sure that you buy your Potent Omnium Crystal 2, your advancement modules, your booster modules, your core control modules, and your augmentation factor. And you might as well go ahead and buy your Vera special gift, because those can help get desired traits of new characters. And then when it comes to your Golden Dust, you may want to go ahead and save some, because they are going to be adding new Titan material in the next patch. Space Time store. You want to buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your data repeater for the week. And with your extra crystal fragments, you can consider buying combat engines or IP shards. Cruise store. Now the only thing that you should be spending your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are either Omnium Shield or Space Time Rift, but you could consider getting a drone level 3 or hologram projector. Support store. You want to go ahead and buy your gold, your Space Time crystal fragments, and your Space Time crystal dust, and you could consider buying your black nucleus. And if you have return points, you want to make sure that you buy your Space Time crystal fragments, and if you have extra, you could consider buying radar detectors, proof of purchases, and gold nucleus. Point store. Now the only thing that you should spend your points on are spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. But besides that, I just recommend that you explore the map, so that way you can get those extra resources for the new characters coming up. And I also wanted to go ahead and say thank you for all the people that supported me for the Nova project. I ended up getting a crazy amount of Tanium from all the support. I was pretty shocked to see that so many people enjoyed what I do. So I wanted to personally just say thank you. Well, besides that, I'll talk with you guys later.